what's the meaning of elasticity in Arabic? Responsiveness, reaction. What's the meaning of elasticity in Arabic? I'm afraid no one can hear me. Awais, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, so elasticity in Arabic means al-muruna, the degree of responsiveness. So see here, if I say Awais is a lazy student, he will cry, he will make terrible, horrible, he will make a big complaint against me. So he is so sensitive. He is so sensitive. But if I say Rashid al-Niqbi is a lazy student, his responsiveness will be just a yellow smile. So he is not responsiveness. He is inelastic. Awais is elastic. Rashid al-Niqbi is inelastic.
I'll say it's true, so I won't say anything.
So even Rashid al-Niqbi made a little responsiveness, but Awais made a huge responsiveness. So the degree of elasticity or responsiveness are different between Awais and Rashid al-Naqbi, and both of them are my friends. So Awais, do you like the small car or the big car?
Sir, I like saloon cars, medium.
Medium. Not one of them.
No.
Okay. So what we will do, basically, most of the chapter is focused on price elasticity of demand. What's the concept, how to calculate, what are the determinants of price elasticity of demand. And then we will take other elasticities, such as income elasticity of demand, gross price elasticity of demand. So I asked you to print out the slides and write notes. Hopefully you have a calculator with you. So what's the meaning of price elasticity of demand in Arabic? According to my dictionary, it is مرونة الطلب السعرية. So this is not a definition, just translation into Arabic. Price elasticity. Yes.
So it's like if the product has a price that went up, the people
are you
will sell.
Are you Rashid al-Naqbi?
Yes.
I said I didn't explain the definition for price elasticity of
I'm
demand.
just asking.
Just yeah. Do you know? I will click. I will give you a definition. What is elasticity? And then next, I will explain what's the meaning of price elasticity of demand. And then after 3 minutes, if you didn't understand, ask me. Not now.
Okay.
Well
Sir,
done.
can you repeat the meaning again in Arabic? مرونة الطلب السعرية.
Insaf?
Yes, insaf.
What's your question?
Repeat the meaning of price elasticity of demand so I can write it on Arabic.
Okay, price.
صحة.
الله يخليك. خلنا شوية أشرب من هذا العصير أجنبي، نشتري من هذا الغالي أنا.
عافية دكتور.
الله يخليكم، الله يحفظكم إن شاء الله.
أفضل تشرب ماي.
يعني مو من هذا العصير الغالي؟
العصير الغالي ما بينفعك وايد، ما بينفعك أكثر.
لا عليك، أنا عودك جاي أكشخ عليه أول. الصراحة راشد أنا شربت ماي، بس قلت شوية بما أنه أنتم مو يمي خلنا أكشخ عليكم وأقول اشتريت عصير غالي.
حبيب.
الله يخليك إن شاء الله. والله الصراحة ماي، أكذب عليك يعني Okay, so a price elasticity of demand in Arabic مرونة الطلب السعرية. Okay, so what's the meaning of responsiveness? Let's start with إنصاف.
Elasticity is a general concept used quantity
To quantify
the response in one variable when another variable changes.
Okay, so this is a general concept, elasticity of behavior of OS with respect to some negative words raised by Salim. So if Salim said, see here, delta P, a change in the behavior of Salim results in a change in the behavior of OS. So if Salim said OS is a lazy student, see here the responsiveness, he will cry. So this is later we will apply this concept on price elasticity of demand. So what we will do, we will quantify, we will measure the responsiveness or a change in quantity demanded due to as a result of a percentage change in the price. For example, if the price of tomatoes increased by 10%, what will happen to the quantity demanded of tomatoes by Insaf? Let's say the quantity demanded will decrease by 10%. So we will calculate within one number, reflect the degree of elasticity of tomatoes by Insaf. So now, what's the meaning of price elasticity of demand and Insaf?
Price elasticity of demand, the ratio of the percentage of change in a quantity demanded to the percentage of change in price, measures the responsiveness of demand to change in price.
Okay, so price elasticity of demand is a formula to calculate or to measure a change in demand due to a change in the price. And this is the main topic of demand curve. So let's say if the price of tomatoes increased by 10% and the quantity demanded decreased by 20%. Okay, so let me write, otherwise I will forget. Assume the price of tomatoes increased by 10% and the quantity demanded by Insaf per week decreased by 20%. So 20 divided by 10, it is 2 minus 2. Take the absolute value, we say 2. The absolute value is 2. So price elasticity of demand is 2. Since 2 is more than 1, we say demand is elastic. If the elasticity less than 1, we say demand is inelastic. This is just in general, but in a moment after checking Rashid al-Naqbi what he want to ask, and then we will go a bit in details to explain this concept, how to use this concept, how to differentiate between different products according to their elasticities. Rashid al-Naqbi?
Yes, sir.
What is your question?
No, I just wanted to say how I understood the meaning from the word.
Do you understand now?
Yeah.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So what is the price elasticity of demand? Is a ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded divided by or a result of or due to percentage change in the price. So if the price increased, I think you can see the cursor. If the price increased by 10% and the quantity demanded by Insaf decreased by 20%, so 20 divided by 10, it is 2 minus 2. Take the absolute value, so it is 2. And also we can reformulate these equations. See here, if the elasticity of tomatoes, do you have calculator? If the elasticity of electricity, 0.8, and Siwa increase the price by 20%, what will happen to a quantity demanded? So I reformulate the equation. So this is the elasticity. So the missing is delta Q. So delta Q equals elasticity times delta P. So what will be the change in quantity demanded? I will give you the information again.
0.60.
So I will give you the information again. Assume the price elasticity of demand for electricity is 0.8. Assume now Siwa or electricity company increase the price by 20%. What will happen to quantity demanded? Insaf?
0.16 gonna be
Increase or decrease?
decrease. I don't know. Decrease by 16%. I don't know. I'm not sure about it.
Okay. See, now you should think economically, not only mathematically. Okay. So let me bring my calculator. So what I said, the elasticity is 0.8. So the elasticity is always negative. So keep in your mind, the elasticity is negative. So this is the elasticity times 20%. So only I will write 20. So the result will be 60. So what will be the answer? The quantity demanded will decrease by 16%. So if Siwa increase the price by 20%, the quantity demanded of electricity will decrease by 16%. Insaf, did you say 16?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So another question. So assume Siwa wants to decrease Siwa to protect the environment. Siwa is planning to decrease consumption of electricity by 20%. And given that the elasticity is 0.8, what should Siwa do to the price? So Siwa should change the price, increase or decrease, and by how much? So I will repeat the information. I'm trying to use this formula. What I said, assume Siwa is planning to reduce consumption of electricity by 20%. Given that the elasticity is 0.8, what should Siwa do to the price? Siwa is a monopolist. Siwa can increase or decrease the price. Siwa has the power to change the price because it is a monopolist. لأنه سوى تعتبر محتكر لسلعة الكهرباء. What is the answer?
So the price should be increased
By how much?
25%.
Again?
25%?
I don't know, Mr. Uwais. So see here what I said. If the government, if the SIWA wants to decrease the consumption of electricity by 20%, so it is 20. Given that the elasticity is 0.8, so divided by 0.8 equals. So see here, minus 20 minus 0.8. So minus divided by minus, the result will be positive. So the answer, SIWA should increase the price by 25% to decrease the consumption of electricity by 20%, given that the elasticity mathematically equals minus 0.8. Hopefully you enjoyed with this simple formula, but what I meant with this, just to bring you closer to this concept of price elasticity of demand. Don't worry, we are still with the same topic. We are still with the same topic. So I will go to Mr. Uwais, who becomes angry if you criticize him. So be careful, don't criticize Mr. Uwais. He will feel angry quickly. You can make joke with Rashid al-Naqbi.
Refer to the next diagram. If the price of a hamburger is increased from $2 to $4, calculate the price elasticity of demand. Over this range of prices, is demand for hamburgers elastic or inelastic, or why?
Okay, so now at least we have a demand curve. So see here, as the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases, there will be a movement along the curve. As the price decreases, quantity demanded increases, there will be a movement along the demand curve. This is what we explain in chapter 3. So now what is the question? Calculate price elasticity of demand. If the price increased from $2 to $4, calculate price elasticity of demand. And then answer two questions. Is the demand elastic or inelastic, and why? So these two questions are quite simple. So let's answer this question. So this is the formula for, this is the formula for price elasticity of demand, percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in the price. I summarize the formula into this form. I summarize the formula into this form. If you are confused with this form, ask me why you rearrange it. So let me quickly say what I'm explaining now is not important. So this is insert equation. Okay, so here, okay, so what is a percentage change in quantity? So I need to insert, no, not here, insert symbol delta. So it is, can you see delta Q,
Yeah.
over, for this reason I escaped from this because I will enlarge it, times 100. I bet it is 100. Okay, let me enlarge it. Okay, so this is, I didn't buy right time. So what is percentage change in quantity? Delta Q divided by Q times 100. Why I wrote this equation? Think about simple issue. What is the percentage change in my salary? What is the percentage change in my salary? My salary was 10,000 and my salary becomes 12,000. What is the percentage change in my salary? So here, delta Q, or a change in my salary, 12 minus 10, it is 12,000, divided by the old salary, the basic salary, 10. So 2,000, let's say 2 divided by 10 times 100, it will be 20%. So my salary increased by 20%. So we use this formula to calculate percentage change in any variable, such as quantity demanded. Here, I will write percentage change in quantity. So similarly, it takes time, unfortunately. Similarly, delta P over P times 100. So what I did next, I deleted 100 with 100. And I brought delta P over B up. So it will be overlap. It will be, when I bring it up, it will be P divided by delta P. I rearrange it. So I got this formula. Okay. So focus now from where I got the information. So number one, what is the change in quantity? So now this step is important. You will need it in the coming exams, in the midterm exam. What is delta Q? What I said in the question, the price increased from 2 to 4. From 2 to 4. What is the new quantity? The new quantity 4. What is the old quantity? 5. So the new quantity, which is 4 units, minus the old quantity, 5 units. So 4 minus 5 equals minus 1. Let's go to delta P. The price was 2 and increased to 4. So the new price minus the old price. So 4 minus 2, it is 2. Times the old price divided by the old quantity. What is the old price from the question? It is 2 dirhams. 2 dirhams. Divided by the old quantity. Read the quantity at point E. It is 5 units. So 2 can be deleted with another 2. 1 divided by 5, it is dot 2. And the sign will be minus. So the result will be dot 2. Take the absolute value. Don't read it minus dot 2. Take the absolute value. Read it as dot 2. Since dot 2 is less than 1, we can decide that demand is inelastic. Why demand is inelastic? Because the elasticity is less than 1. That means if the elasticity is more than 1, we will say demand is elastic. So I will explain what's the meaning of elastic demand, inelastic demand later. But now I need you to be able to calculate price elasticity of demand between 2 points. So now this question, the price was at point E and moved to point D, and we calculated the elasticity. my question, use this graph, assume the price decreased from $10 to $8. Assume the price decreased from $10 to $8. Calculate price elasticity of demand. Is demand elastic or inelastic, and why? So I will receive your answer after the break, not now. I will receive your answer after the break. Okay, so let's
Can you
go.
repeat again the question, please, so I can?
Okay. So use this diagram. Assume that the price decreased from $10 to $8, and calculate price elasticity of demand. Decide whether demand is elastic or inelastic, and why. So in general, demand are different between different products for their elasticities. So what I talk now, assume basic telephone services. Let me talk about rice instead of basic telephone services. So they select something necessary, such as rice. If the price increased by 10%, the quantity demanded may decrease, but by less than 10%. Let's say the quantity demanded decreased by 1%. Why? Because rice is very important. If rice becomes a bit more expensive, we may consume rice, but we will be so careful with the rice, so the quantity may decrease a little bit. So how to calculate elasticity for rice? 1 divided by, so see here, I will try not to read the sign minus. So 1 divided by 10, it is 0.1. It is less than 1. So demand is inelastic. So in our previous example, we found the elasticity 0.2. That means demand is inelastic. Let's take another example. For banana, if the price increased by 10%, the quantity demanded will decrease by 30%. Why 30%? Because we have other options. We can buy other kinds of fruits, such as orange or strawberry. It's not necessary to buy banana because we have other good alternatives. So the quantity demanded may decrease, and we will not die if we don't eat banana. We can eat apples. So 30, how to calculate the price elasticity of demand? Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in the price. So 30 divided by 10, it is a 3. Since 3 is more than 1, demand is called elastic. So for most good, demand range between elastic and inelastic. For very necessary product, elasticity become close to 0.1. What I said for electricity, 0.8. So for banana is 0.3. For perfume, 5. So it depends on your evaluation of on the importance of the product, and we will discuss later what are the determinants of price elasticity of demand, which factors affecting the degree of or the parameter of price elasticity of demand. Now we have some extreme cases, when we have some special cases, such as for insulin. This is a medicine for diabetic disease. So if the price increased by 10%, a patient such as Salim cannot decrease the quantity consumed, otherwise I will die. So 0 divided by 10, it will be 0. So demand is perfectly inelastic. Demand is perfectly inelastic. Whatever the change in the price, there is no change in quantity demanded. We call perfectly inelastic. We have case number 5. Case number 5 is for tomatoes, because I love tomatoes. See here, for tomatoes, Uwais, who has a farm in Sharjah, produces tomatoes. If the price increased, I'm just trying to think about a demand curve facing a single producer such as Uwais. So see here, if Uwais alone increased the price, the quantity demanded from him will drop in a huge amount. So almost nobody will purchase from him. So what we will say, if the an increase in the price by 10% will cause a huge decrease in quantity demanded. For example, he's selling 20 boxes, and now when he increased the price, he will sell half box. So a huge decrease in quantity demanded. So in this case, the elasticity will be infinitive, إلى ما لا نهاية, and demand is called perfectly elastic. And I will show you the details later. So again, for tomatoes, and I'm talking about a single producer such as Uwais, if Uwais increased the price by 10%, almost nobody will purchase from Uwais, because we have thousands of producers selling the same tomatoes as at 5 dirhams, let's say. So if he alone increased the price, nobody will purchase from him. So if a supermarket increased the price for Pepsi Cola, we will go to next door grocery and purchase Coca-Cola, and we will feel angry with the supermarket. So the quantity, there will be a huge decrease in quantity demanded from this supermarket. We have last special case for beef. For me, I prefer to say for coffee. If the price increased by 10%, assume the quantity demanded decreased by the same percentage. So 10 divided by 10 equals 1. If the elasticity equal 1, we say unitarily elastic. Unitarily elastic. In Arabic, مرونة الوحدة. So let me. After the break, I will draw curves about 5 cases of elasticity. So I will draw 5 curves, 5 demand curves with different elasticities after the break.